asking why. Yeah, they're paying attention. Oh, more people see the big lie, or shall I say the big lies. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're situated on this great, big, beautiful blue globe floating through the void of Yah's creation. It is the 19th of June, 2025, and this is Dave vonKleist and the WTF Reports. I'm here with the audio receipts because they're not telling you the truth. And you know what? You won't be trusted anymore. That's right. The establishment is losing trust left and right. I don't care if you're looking at big pharma. I don't care, what you're looking at. People have lost their trust because we've been lied to. We've been manipulated. We've been brainwashed. We've been gaslit by all the networks. And that's why yours truly is here with the facts, WTF. And when you hear the facts, and I'm here with the audio receipts, you will say, WTF! Anyway, welcome to the WTF Reports on this Thursday. And as always, this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Wave Watch. And I can't tell you enough about that. You know about Rife technology. Well, hopefully you do. You know about Tesla technology. That's what is this little doohickey, this little thingamajig is all about. It's a Rife machine that you wear on your wrist. And if you haven't checked it out, I implore you to do so. Go to our website, TheWTFReports.com, and click on the sponsors page and check out the information about the Wave Watch. Once you've done some investigation, some research, you'll understand what the principle is and why this thing is got a lot of people raising their eyebrows and saying, huh? Yeah, this thing works. And by the way, if you decide that you would like to get a Wave Watch, use the promo code REDPILL100 and you'll save $100. All right, that said, okay, well, let's see. Are we going to war? Is it going to happen? Are we going to be dragged into this conflict between Israel and Iran? Is it going to happen? A lot of people are saying, oh, dear God, let's not let it happen. Nobody that I've talked to wants to go to war. Do you know anybody who wants to go to war? No, no, neither do I. So, but before we get started, I want to lay down the premise here. As a very young child, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and I had 3 friends. I had, and we were thick as thieves. There was Jamie, and he lived up on the 6th floor. I lived on the 2nd floor, and he was Jewish. And Jamie and we spent, our formative years together, the wonder years, as some people call them. And, we celebrated Christmas and Hanukkah together. We were just having a ball. I don't care if you're Jewish. No. And my other friend, Junior, his real name was Jimmy, but we all called him Junior. He was black. So, I'm not an anti-Semite. I don't hate Jews. I don't hate black people. And then there was my other friend, Matthew, and he was a ginger. He had bright red hair and lots of freckles, And so, the 4 of us, we all hung out together. No problem at all. Okay, so anybody that wants to say, oh, you hate blacks or you hate Jews, you hate this, go stuff it. I don't want to hear that garbage anymore. I'm sick of it. It's right up there with conspiracy theorists. That term has been so overused. And not only that, but we conspiracy theorists are running, we're batting 1,000 these days. So, the people that are pushing the narratives on the mainstream networks, we see you. We understand what you do. You've been doing it for a long time. You're pushing horse hockey. You're pushing intellectual fecal matter, and unfortunately, all those out there consuming that fecal matter end up with stuff for brains. For the love of God, think outside the cage. Anyway, I just wanted to lay that premise down. Now, there's another thing that I want to lay down here. I spent a lot of my time, like I just said, I grew up, in New York and Brooklyn, and spent a lot of my time in the Northeast. I lived not only in New York, but I also lived in Connecticut. I went to high school in Massachusetts, in Provincetown. I graduated high school from Provincetown, Massachusetts. Yeah. So, I was a New Englander all through my young adult life, and I was, Red Sox. Oh, gosh, Red Sox Nation. Red Sox Nation. Okay. Red Sox nation. Now, what does that mean? Well, it indicates that if you're a fan of a particular, if you subscribe to a certain philosophy or a group or something like that, you know, if you're a Red Sox fan and you scream Red Sox Nation, is there really a nation called Red Sox? Of course not. Of course not. It's just basically a way of saying that, you know, that you are aligned with a certain group of people. Okay? So, what is this about the nation of Israel? Okay? Does that mean this geographical location, you know, on the eastern extreme of the Mediterranean Sea? Okay, is that what is the nation of Israel is? No, not at all. Go to your Bible, and you'll find that Jacob was told by God that from now on you will be known as Israel. God told Jacob that your name is now Israel. And Jacob had 12 sons, hence the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, that was not a nation, a geographical location. It was a group of people who had a contract with God Almighty. And as long as you maintain that contract, the entire world is your nation. It's a group of people that hold a core belief that is consistent. That's the way I see it. Now, I could be wrong. Okay, I've been wrong before. You know, as a matter of fact, being wrong is not such a bad thing. It's an opportunity for intellectual growth. And if you don't let your ego and your pride get in the way, then you can actually progress. You'll learn something. You know, there's people out there that have exclamation points over their head. And that's because they know. I know. That's the exclamation point. And the doors of information that go into their brain are closed because they already know. Yeah, I don't need any more information. I know. There's that exclamation point. And then there are some folks out there that want to know. They have a question mark over their head. Their doors are open for new information. And when you come across information that challenges a belief that you have, common sense dictates that you take the new information in this hand, compare it to the information that gave you an opinion in the other hand, weigh them out, and you know what? Sometimes it's a miracle because you throw away or change the previous belief because the new information is basically changed your opinion. That's how you grow. But I wanted to throw that out there because, you know, there are so many people out there that are confused about this whole notion of the nation of Israel. And I want to remind you that how did this whole thing get started? You got to go back over 100 years and look at the Balfour Declaration, which was between the British Crown, Lord Balfour, and the Rothschild family. Yeah, the Rothschilds. What kind of people are they? Well, I'll tell you what. Do some research. Oh, what's this? Nope, not going to take a phone call. I'm busy right now. But anyway, so, okay, it sort of got me off track there. So the point is that is this nation of Israel, who was behind it? Well, you look at the Rothschilds and do a little search, okay? You know, go open up a search bar and type in Rothschild and Marina Abramovic. Marina Abramovic. Now, she is a self-professed, world-recognized, high satanic priestess. And if you do the research, Rothschild and Marina Abramovic, and then look for images, you will find the two of them, Marina Abramovic and Jacob Rothschild, posing in front of a portrait of Satan releasing his legions. So, have to ask the question, are the Rothschilds good people or are they bad people? This is a no-brainer, folks. If you're willing to pose in front of a portrait of Satan releasing his legions, I don't think that you're a real godly kind of guy. I mean, this is not hard to figure out. So, if the Rothschilds were behind the creation of the Zionist state, a Zionist Jewish state, okay, and that was back in 1917, okay, it took them several decades to get it together, but they eventually created a country, a geographic location that they called Israel. And of course, as we were just saying, as far as my reading is concerned, Israel is a people and not a country. And Zionism is political dogma, not a religion. So I wanted to throw those premises out there. If I'm wrong, fine. I will put that, one piece of information in this hand, other piece of information in that hand, weigh them out, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's the way I see it. But anyway, I wanted to throw that out there because so much confusion is basically being fomented on the American people. And I wanted to, I've got a bunch of clips here. I'm trying to figure out where we start. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let's go back 20 years. And it was shortly after the 9/11 attacks. And retired General Wesley Clark, and I played this clip before. Many of you have heard it, I'm sure. But this is Wesley Clark talking about 7 countries, 7 wars in 5 years. Of course, the timeline got screwed up, but this is what he had to say. Listen up.
Right after 9/11, about 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me, and one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, No. He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, he said, I just got this down from upstairs," meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran."
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, that's going back 20 years. And by the way, you may have heard that he mentioned Somalia in there. Yeah, okay, I'll get to that in a little bit. Somalia, that's an interesting situation. Ilhan Omar. Okay, I wanted to share that and lay down this premise because this has been a long timeline of the globalist plan. All right, to take over the entire Middle East. And of course, they're doing so for the benefit of one individual group. And who do you suppose that could be? Again, let's go back 20 years. And Greta van Sustern was interviewing the late James Trafficant. And he was making a lot of people pretty pissed off with these types of comments, but he wasn't lying. This is 20 years ago, folks. Listen up.
I'm saying this to you right now. Israel gets approximately $15 billion a year from the American taxpayers. That $15 billion is $30,000 for every man, woman, and child. And people in my district are losing their pension benefits. So I was targeted big time.
By the Israelis.
And I can't understand this, why no one in Congress is raising their voice. And the reason is very simple. But I believe that Israel has a powerful stranglehold on the American government. They control both members of the House and the Senate. They have us involved in wars of which we have little or no interest. Our children are coming back in body bags. Our nation is bankrupt over these wars. And if you open your mouth, you get targeted. And if they don't beat you at the poll, they'll put you in prison.
Mm-hmm. And again, that's James Trafficant 20 years ago. Well, about 20 years ago, something like that. But, yeah, this is 2025. Yeah, I think that was back in 2006 or somewhere in there. A couple of decades. Okay, don't hold me to it. But we get back to this issue about Israel, okay? Is it a country? Is it a nation? What does the Bible have to say about it? Well, it's interesting because Ted Cruz was talking with Tucker Carlson about this exact issue. And I find some of the statements there were very interesting. Here's a little excerpt from their conversation. Here it is.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of it, it says the nation of Israel.
There you go.
So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis. But so you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it. And you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two...
Hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
Hold on, define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis...
He just said it's a country? Oh my goodness. Ted, come on now. You want to quote the Bible? I'm just telling you, that's the word Israel came from the lips of God to Jacob. And it's a group of people, a nation, not a country. They continue.
That's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
There it is, the nation of Red Sox Nation! Israel nation. There it is.
Is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the descendants
God's
of Abraham.
referring to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
And
no, it's not.
By the way, it's not run by Benjamin Netanyahu as a dictator. It's a democratic country that elected.
He's the prime minister.
Right.
What?
But just like, America is the country run by Donald Trump. No, actually, the American people elected Donald Trump. The same principle
This is silly. I'm talking about the political entity of modern Israel.
Yes, and that is
believe
Israel.
That's what God was talking about in Genesis.
I do, but
that country's existed since when?
For thousands of years. Now, there was a time when it didn't exist, and then it was recreated just over 70 years ago.
I'm saying...
Whoa, what was that? There was a time it didn't exist? And it was recreated about 70 years ago? Ted, what are you smoking? I kind of think I know. Go ahead.
I think most people understand that line in Genesis to refer to the Jewish people, God's chosen people.
That's not what it says.
Okay, Israel, but you don't even know where in the Bible it is.
Isn't that an interesting conversation? Well, Ted, I hate to bring this to the table here, but and I'll ask you listeners out there to do your research. Here's a website to go to, trackapac.com. Trackapac.com. All right? And that's AIPAC. That's APAC. Trackapac.com. Do a search and type in Ted Cruz. Well, I did that, and I'm looking here at the amount of money that AIPAC has given to Ted Cruz. And right here it says $1,899,059. I don't know, and there's so many here. As a matter of fact, there's a whole page here. Let me see who else. Dan Crenshaw. You know how much money AIPAC has given Dan Crenshaw? $238,139. Okay, let's see. There's all of these. Go to trackapac.com and type in any one of your representatives, your senators, your congressional representatives, and you can find out exactly how much money they have been sold out for. Reminds me of that old joke, the guy goes up to a beautiful woman. He says, will you go to bed with me for $1 million? And she says, what? Oh, come on. And he says, oh, I'm serious. And he opens up the briefcase, and there it is. It's $1 million. He says, I'll give you $1 million. Will you go to bed with me for $1 million? And she thinks about it, and she says, well, okay. He says, fine. He says, will you go to bed with me for $1? And she says, wait a minute, what do you think I am anyway? And he says, well, we've already determined what you are. We're just negotiating a price. That's what we're up against here, folks. I just wanted to share that with you. I know that's a little bit off color as far as a joke is concerned, and it's not really a joke because that just seems to be the way it is. And to be quite honest, there is let me see, who was it? Oh, yeah, J.J. Carroll. He's becoming a household name. And he posted, I mentioned this before, is that there was a reporter that went into the halls of Congress and one by one went up to the congressional representatives as they were walking by and asked them a simple question. Is it U.S. first or Israel? Now, this particular clip is about 6 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but you're going to get a general idea of how these representatives that are supposed to be representing the American people, of what they think. I'm going to let this play.
My name's Frankie Stocks. I'm a reporter with the Stu Peters Network. I would just love to ask you a quick question.
Okay, now he's talking to a Republican representative from Texas, Randy Weber.
Ask every representative I can.
Go for it, Frank.
That is, do you care more about the American people or Israel as a member of Congress?
I don't think they're mutually exclusive, Frankie.
Can you elaborate?
They're our best ally.
Are they?
Okay, and he gets $65,002 from AIPAC.
Who do you care about more, the United States or Israel?
Okay, and now he's asking John James, another Republican from Michigan, from the 10th District. And again, is it U.S. or Israel? Silence.
United States or Israel, sir? No answer? Should we put you down for Israel?
Okay, let's see. How much did John James get? $299,155 from AIPAC. Now, again, if somebody asks you the question, is it U.S. first or Israel first? If you're working in the United States government as a representative, you should stand up proudly, stick your chest out and say, it's America first. But they don't do that. They turn and they scurry away.
Who do you care about more, the American people or Israel?
Okay, now he's asking Jen Kiggins, another Republican from Virginia.
It's an easy one. American people or Israel? You don't got to fake a phone call. American people or Israel?
Okay, she's scurrying away. How much money did she get from AIPAC? $45,265. Yeah.
Who do you care about more, the American people or Israel?
And now there's Tracy Mann, another Republican from Kansas, the 1st District. Hey, is it U.S. or Israel?
The American people or Israel, sir?
Oh, and he scurries away. He gets $59,357 from AIPAC.
Who do you care about more, the American people or Israel?
Oh, a Democrat from New York, Joe Morrell. He gets $162,220.
No answer?
I think that Israel is one of our strongest allies in a part of the world where people are trying to harm us, and I think they need our support.
So
Tony Downing from New
York. Should the U.S. continue funding Israel? Despite their links to the 9/11 or their attack on the U.S.?
He got $14,200. Oh, he's a cheap. He got bought off cheap. Anyway, I could continue with this. And I'm sorry to say, but folks, your representatives have sold out. They have sold out. They have sold you out. Now, you're wondering why there's so many people that are getting really ticked off about Israel. And this is a good reason why. As a matter of fact, retired Marine Ken O'Keefe, some of you have seen some of the posts that he's put out there, and yeah, they're saying, oh, he's a real troublemaker. Well, maybe because he's talking truth. This is what Ken O'Keefe had to say about how our representatives are compromised.
It is very clear that the head of the snake is the financial system. The mechanism is finance. The whole point of finance is to indebt, otherwise to enslave. What is a mortgage? I mean, what does that stand for? It's a death grip. So when you get a mortgage, You have a death grip held over you because you are in debt. You don't even own the house. The bank owns the house that loaned you the money to buy the house, unless you're fortunate enough to have all the money to buy it outright. And even then, you can be taxed by the government, and if you fail to keep up with those taxes, the government can then take it from you. The whole system is based on a financial fraud, which effectively takes the power that we have, and it gives it to a tiny group of individuals who are running the world through the control of finance. With the infinite supply of money that we have allowed them to take, they have literally an infinite supply of money, and with that money, and from their psychopathic point of view, they have bought everything and everyone who can be bought. So those of us who cannot be bought because we operate on a level that goes way beyond the material, we are not rewarded for such behavior, we are punished for such behavior. And the most slovenly, disgustingly criminal, corrupt, moral individuals, those are the ones that are rewarded in this system, which is upside down. So we reward the corrupt, we reward the liars, we reward the people with no morals at all, and usually we compromise them under this system in terms of maybe a videotape. Maybe Barack Obama is gay. If I was in charge of the world and I was a psychopath and completely drunk on my own power, you can bet damn sure that's what I would do. I wouldn't allow anyone in a position of power who wasn't completely compromised.
Well, how do you compromise people? Well, what are those three magic words?
Bribery, coercion, blackmail.
Yeah, those are the three words that make this world go round. Yeah, money makes the world go round, the world go round. Blackmail makes the world go round. Do, 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 do. Coercion makes the world go round. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, okay, I'm going to take a quick break, pause for the cause. Get More Tank will save you money every month on gas. Get More Tank is a tablet with active ingredients that adds big mileage to every tank. Made in America, the Get More Tank formula is used by trucking companies and heavy industry. Now the Get More Tank formula is available to you. Get More Tank works in any gas or diesel engine, cleans your engine, lowers emissions, and you'll feel improved engine performance every time you step on the gas. Get More Tank works for cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, four-wheelers, mowers, and blowers. Hey, if you got an engine, then Get More Tank. Contractors, electricians, plumbers, painters, and lawn service companies, Get More Tank will save you money and extend the life of your engines. If you're an owner-operator running your big rig around the town or across the country, Get More Tank will save you money too. If you're a farmer, all of your equipment can use Get More Tank. A 5-pack on sale at GetMoreTank.com for just $22.22 plus shipping. Use the promo code RedPill101 and get 10% off. Save your money, save your engine, save the earth at GetMoreTank.com. Get More Tank is EPA registered, doesn't void warranties, results vary. And you can get More Tank by visiting our website. Yeah, you gotta go to... go to TheWTFReports.com. Again, the THE is real important. TheWTFReports.com. Click on the sponsors page, and it'll take you down to an area where you can click on Get More Tank. You can go to their website, read all the technical data. You'll find out exactly how and why it works. And whatever vehicle that you're driving, and whether it's gasoline or diesel, you will find that over a period of time, your engine is going to run cleaner, more efficiently, and after a couple of tanks, you're going to start to see some remarkable improvement in your mileage. Anywhere between 10 to 15% an improvement of your mileage, depending upon your make, model, and year of the vehicle that you're driving. But the point is, if you're getting 20% better mileage, that means that you're going to spend $20 when you use the promo code RedPill101. You spend $20, you get 5 tablets, 1 tablet per tank, and that means if you're getting 20% better mileage, the 5th tank is free. Let's see, I spend $20 and I'll save a tank of gas. How much is a tank of gas? 50, 60, whatever it is. You're going to save that much money if you're using Get More Tank. So go to TheWTFReports.com, click on the sponsors page, and Get More Tank. And while you're there, you might want to check out the really cool merch that we've just added. We've got coffee cups, baseball caps, and T-shirts for the WTF Reports. Help to spread the word and get the word out that there is a fun radio show with lots of news and audio receipts. So, and also, if you're enjoying the program and you want to see us grow and turn into a full-blown podcast, well, you can help contribute with our GoFundMe project. So you'll find that there too. So anyway, yeah, help us grow here at the WTF Reports. Because where is it? Here. All I want is the truth. Just give me some truth. That's That's all we want is the truth. That's all we want. All right. Continuing with this particular line of discussion, there was a conversation. I just was playing for you a conversation between Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson in regard to the nation of Israel. Okay, well, Tucker Carlson was also talking to Shawn Ryan about blackmail. Yeah, one of those three magic words that I've been sharing with all of you for so many months. Anyway, give a listen. This is a bit of their conversation, and if my computer will stop trying to have me edit. There we go.
I feel like an idiot for being shocked because, of course, it's not a democracy. Of course, the system is rigged. It's fake because no matter who gets elected, you get the same foreign policy, you get the same economic policy, and the Epstein videos remain secret. So, like, that just shows you that our system has no effect on the actual system.
Wait, what are you talking about? I thought we could all sleep well at night now knowing that Epstein legitimately himself, right? I've dug into that, and it's just so spooky what's going on with that. I mean, how do you charge a guy with trafficking when there are no end users that have been charged? Who did he traffic to?
I don't know. You got me on that one.
I mean, right? How do you charge him with that if that's where the trail starts? Where does it end? I think there's just a lot more going on than the majority of people know about.
What do you think that was?
What do I think it was?
Yeah.
I think it was a blackmail operation. What do you think it was?
I think it was a blackmail operation run by the CIA and the Israeli intel services. And probably others. You know, French intelligence always has a hand in everything, I've noticed, so probably them too. The usual, darkest forces in the world colluding to make rich and powerful people obey their agenda.
I don't understand why nobody has come out on it. Nobody has come out on it, right? I mean, because if you paint the scenario, you get on a jet, maybe you're totally innocent, you don't know what's going on, two hot women come out of the whatever stewardess place, come out, and one thing leads to another.
Yes.
And then what happens? They go, oh, we got you, you're on camera, and by the way, these girls are 15 or 16 or whatever the hell they were, right? And yes, for a married guy, it's pretty up that you're doing that, but I mean, it's nothing new under the sun, so why wouldn't you just scream blackmail at the top of your lungs like, I didn't know, this is what happened, and just come clean on it?
Why do you think?
Because they're repeat customers.
Yeah, because they're so deeply implicated that they can't actually get out of it.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, there's also, it's not just blackmail that makes people obey. It's not just bribery. It's also the threat of...
Do you know anybody that's been threatened with...
I think every U.S. president has been threatened with implicitly because of John F. Kennedy. I've known a bunch of presidents. I think every one of them understands that, it's pretty obvious what happened there. And no one has, to this day, released all the files. And why is that? Because the message is really clear. If you get too far outside the boundaries, you could wind up like JFK.
Who places the boundaries?
Probably the same forces sitting president in 1963. If you listen to the tape of Richard Nixon talking to the CIA director in the Oval Office, when he brings up Kennedy's, he's the president. In fact, not only is he the president, he's won by the biggest landslide in American history. He has a real mandate, and he is afraid. He's afraid even to talk in private to the CIA director about what that was. And he indicates, I know what happened to Jack Kennedy. And the CIA director doesn't even respond. And the president doesn't have the balls to say, hey, son, I'm talking to you. You work for me. I want the files on this.
Mm-hmm.
I knew Jack Kennedy. He was in the head next to his wife in public, like a man. Mm-hmm. I want to know what happened here. He does not have the balls to say that to his own CIA director.
Man.
That's the level of fear that a murder like that's officially unsolved, but, whose outline everyone really, a lot of people understand. That's the fear that inculcates.
That's right. And let's take a look at, when was the CIA created? In the late 40s. When was the State of Israel created? In the late 40s. When was the Mossad created? In the late 40s. Of course, there's no correction there. No connection whatsoever. No. Well, I got to tell you, there are folks out there that are seeing the level of corruption. And Bibi Netanyahu is, let's listen to a CBS report. I'm not quite sure when this came out. But, his hands are not clean. Listen to this. Here's CBS.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been indicted on allegations of corruption.
No.
The decision caps a 3-year-long investigation. As Nicole Killian reports, it is a first for the nation.
A defiant Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to stay in power calling the criminal charges against him an attempted coup. On Thursday, Israel's Attorney General indicted the 70-year-old for bribery, fraud, and breach of trust, saying the decision was not a choice but a duty. The charges against the Prime Minister stem from 3 separate corruption cases. They include claims that he offered bribes in exchange for favorable news coverage and that he accepted gifts totaling more than $250,000 from billionaire friends in exchange for political favors.
Maybe it's an honor to have you at the Oval Office. Thank you.
A strong ally of the U.S. and close friend of President Trump, Netanyahu, who has ruled Israeli politics for 10 years, has been seeking a 5th term as prime minister. The nation could be on the verge of a possible 3rd election in under a year after Netanyahu and rival Benny Gantz each failed to form a majority coalition government. Gantz says Netanyahu has no public or moral mandate to make fateful decisions about Israel. Netanyahu claims he is a victim of a witch hunt and did nothing wrong. Nicole Killian, CBS News.
Of course he did nothing wrong. No. Well, I got to tell you, there are a lot of Israelis and Jews all over the world that are condemning Bibi Netanyahu for his actions. He is a rogue force, and his entire cabinet. I mean, they wrap themselves in the flag of Judaism, and by their actions, with the atrocities, the unspeakable atrocities that are going on over there in the Middle East, specifically in Palestine. A lot of Jews around this country saying, not in our name, no. And Netanyahu wraps himself in the flag of Israel, of Judaism, and says if you dare criticize him, you're an anti-Semite. Well, there's a price to pay by wrapping yourself with the flag of Judaism and claiming, that anybody that criticizes you is an anti-Semite. And as a matter of fact, Owen Shroyer, who is one of the staff with InfoWars, he made the following statement, and he's making some very good points because there are Jews all over the world that are screaming that they're being subjected to quote-unquote anti-Semitism because of the actions of Israel. Here's Owen Shroyer. Here it is.
All right, it's amazing to me that nobody is saying this. I'm not surprised that you're not hearing it in the mainstream Western media, but I don't know why nobody's saying this. Now, I'm not Jewish, okay? But I do have Jewish friends, but that's not really what this is about. I care about people. That's what I care about. I care about people. And nobody seems to want to mention the fact that Israelis are stuck in bunkers almost every night in parts of Israel. Jobs are being shut down. The economy closed. Schools closed. Okay, now this is because of Benjamin Netanyahu. Do not be confused. Do not be confused. So here's the message that people need to understand. If you care about Israel, and its existence and its relationship to the United States of America, you better realize something fast. You better stop listening to people like Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro, and Benjamin Netanyahu. If you continue to be led down this path by those 3 individuals and their ilk, within 20 years, Israel will get no support from the United States of America, and Israel will be, dare I say, hated by the United States of America. Now, you might already be rejecting this message. You might already be denying this message, but hold on. Aren't you the ones that are complaining about anti-Semitism on the rise? Aren't you the ones that are complaining about Jew hatred on the rise? So you already know it's true. You already know it. What do you think is causing it? People like Levin, Shapiro, and Netanyahu, who inaccurately depict themselves as a voice for all Jewish people around the world, and then lie and subvert the United States of America's foreign policy in order to benefit Israel. And everybody sees it now.
Yeah, I'm going to pause this for just a second. Because, across the board, anybody who's criticizing Israel for sniping children, okay, sniping pregnant women, you know, and as a matter of fact, they actually have a T-shirt. 1 bullet, 2 kills if you shoot a pregnant woman. Anybody who condemns the forced starvation of an entire population, anyone who condemns the torture, anyone who condemns the carpet bombing in there, you're all labeled as anti-Semitic, as if those types of actions are inherently Jewish. That's the problem. So if you're calling people an anti-Semite because they're condemning your actions, then that means that you support those actions, and that's part of your belief system. Do you understand that? Let's continue with Owen here. I hit the wrong button. Oh, let's try that again. Okay, I'll pick up where
as a voice for all Jewish people around the world, and then lie and subvert the United States of America's foreign policy in order to benefit Israel. And everybody sees it now. It is maybe the number one topic in American politics today is Israel's influence. So understand this, because no one else is telling you. If you continue to be led by Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, Benjamin Netanyahu, who have been lying to America for 30 years, who have been forcing America into the Middle East, costing us trillions of dollars and countless American lives for decades, then the support that Israel gets from the United States of America will be over within 20 years. Over. Now, what that means for Israel, I don't know. But that's probably not something that you want to find out the hard way. So you better find this out real quick. And don't deny this message. You know it's true. You will all see it. Anti-Semitism on the rise. Jew hatred on the rise. Yeah. So what do you think the reason for that is? You think that just comes up out of nowhere? Oh, is that Qatar? Is Qatar doing that? Stop living in denial. If you care about Israel, you need to reject and rebuke these names, and you need to find better reputation for Jews worldwide and American Jews. Because all these three men are doing are going to destroy your country and destroy Christian-Jewish relations, American-Israel relations, and then it'll be over.
Yeah, I agree with him. I absolutely agree with him. And, you know, he's not the only one that's screaming from the rooftops about that. Ryan Mata. Now, you may recall Ryan Mata, he was one of the key creators of the film The Sound of Freedom that was released about 2 years ago in regard to all of the international sex trafficking that's going on. And by the way, I should mention as an aside that about 2 weeks ago, he interviewed one of the high-profile attorneys from Guatemala. And this attorney explained how Marco Rubio was involved in the corruption of the 2023 election in Guatemala. Not only that, but the United States, through the Biden administration, specifically through Jill Biden, has been heavily involved in the child sex trafficking out of Guatemala. But anyway, that's an aside. Here's what he had to say in regard to this topic that we're discussing right now.
So I want to add a little bit to what Owen just said, if you care about Israel. So let me shoot it to you straight, in case you're not getting this from Mark Levin or Ben Shapiro or any of these other pundits in the mainstream media.
Okay, he's referring to the statement that you just heard by Owen Shroyer.
The days of Israel manipulating our government and the citizens of America so that, no offense, you guys can leech off the backs of every single American citizen. The days of us funneling billions of dollars into Israel so Israel can go ahead and bomb all of its neighbors like they're indestructible and they're indefensible. You have a country with a population size of 15 million, and because of what Benjamin Netanyahu and his regime have done, you've literally turned the entire world against you. You have somebody like me who dated a girl when I was 16 that was Jewish, almost had a Jewish kid. Her parents hated me. I never understood why. It was because I was a goyim and I wasn't wealthy enough to have their daughter. It wasn't going to happen. Now, she had a miscarriage, which I probably at the hands of her parents, if I had to take a guess. But the point is, I never talked about Jews. I never knew anything there was about a Jew or about Israel. I couldn't nail Israel on a map. I couldn't tell you anybody that went to Israel, lived in Israel. I didn't know, didn't care, was completely oblivious to the fact that we have given your country between $10 and $20 trillion since 1943. since the creation of Israel. What we have today is not just the American citizens waking up to going, why is this parasite sucking the life out of my country, collapsing our currency? Israel is behind the open borders. Israel is behind the LGBTQ in general. Israel is behind controlling our politicians. Israel is behind our disastrous foreign policy over the last 3 or 4 decades, which is detrimental to everybody, including the rest of the world. So right now, you have like literally 2 options. Regime change Benjamin Netanyahu, and I mean him and his entire army of soldiers, the people in the IDF, Mossad, they all have to go. And if you guys don't eradicate them and regime change them yourself, you're going to watch the entire world turn on Israel, and you guys will no longer exist. And even though I think a majority of us are actually thinking like, wow, Israel being completely removed from power, having no weapons, having no ability to attack everybody around them, would actually make the world a lot better of a place. So you guys can either get it together and regime change it yourself, or the rest of the world is going to literally just eliminate Israel. Nobody's coming to save you. We're not sending our children, our sons and daughters off to die in this war. We actually are pro-Iran getting a nuke. And I'm talking about both. I think Iran should have nuclear weapons, and I think that Iran should have the ability to produce nuclear energy. Both of them should be okay, and it shouldn't be the United States that's the arbiter of this for the world. And y'all thought it was cute when you were literally dressing up your children with mascara and putting bullet holes and then putting baby powder on your face and literally mocking the women who were assassinated by Israeli snipers. You guys were laughing when Israeli snipers were shooting the genitalia off of children. And you mocked and you laughed and you destroyed and you robbed, you looted and you pillaged every country all around you. You guys carried out 9/11. You guys have carried out false flags that have sunk U.S. ships. And when I tell you that the American people are done supporting you, we're done backing you, it's over. It's over for all of eternity. And however you guys rebuild Israel, it ain't coming out of my gosh damn pocket. It ain't coming out of my taxes anymore. And if we have to remove politicians from office and we have to vote them out, then we'll vote them out. But we are done allowing Israel to leech off the back of American citizens. Y'all started this war. Y'all let Benjamin Netanyahu carry it out. Y'all turned Gaza to glass. You attacked Iran. You completely destroyed Libya, Syria, Lebanon, and what's the other one? Iraq and Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. We are done supporting your wars. We're done supporting your genocides. We're done sending our children off to die for you. So this is your last opportunity to literally save yourselves, because nobody's coming to help you. Nobody feels your Holocaust hoax is up. Nobody feels bad for you after what you did to Gaza. So this is your pot. You're the boiling frogs. You can either jump out or not. It doesn't make a difference to us. But either way, you're fucked.
Oh,
you deserve it.
I didn't catch that word. Sorry about that, folks. And I got to remind you, the Revelation, chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Now that's in Revelation. And that's Revelation 2:9. And Revelation 3:9, it says, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship me before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Now, I'm not making this stuff. I'm here with the receipts, folks. I'm not making this stuff up. And again, that was Ryan Mata that you just heard from. Now, a lot of people are getting really, really disgusted with this whole situation, and I don't blame them. And I would reach out if I had a way to get to President Trump, if I could get him to hear these words and hear the words of all these people that are screaming about this. And I don't know, maybe the QAnon posts maybe they're saving Israel for last. I don't know how that's going to work out, but I do know that there are a lot of people that are really effing pissed off. As a matter of fact, there's a woman that posted a very profane, and I had to edit this down. I'm going to play this, but I had to edit 25 F-bombs out of this. I'm going to play it. You can take it for what it is. But this reflects how many people in this country, whether you're Christian or Jew or whatever, we've had it with all this stuff, supporting Israel and their wars. And I'm going to play this, and I apologize. I did my best to take out as many profanities, but she's expressing the sentiments that so many Americans are having. Here it is.
One thing Israelis have is the fucking audacity. You've infiltrated every aspect of American society. You've infiltrated our government. You've bought our politicians. You control our legislation. You funnel billions and billions of dollars, possibly trillions, from the American people on a yearly basis so that you can get free healthcare and go fucking brutalize, terrorize, and genocide people in Palestine. Then run away to your real homes in Europe and New York, New Jersey, wherever the fuck you're actually fucking from. And go live your lives. Go live your lives like you didn't just fucking murder children. Now, you pieces of fucking scum are on every single major news channel because you own the media too. Because you fucking infiltrated that too. Now you're on every single fucking news station playing victim. They want to kill all the... Nobody fucking cares that you're Jewish. Nobody cares. They want to kill Israelis because you're fucking murderous, genocidal pieces of shit. All right. And you have no business in modern civilized society. You are the scum of the earth. They want to kill you. They don't want to kill Jews. They don't care about your religion. Nobody fucking cares about your religion. Nobody cares. We care that you're murdering people. We care that you just unprovoked fucking threw a missile at Iran and are now on all of the news channels playing fucking victim, begging America to come fight your fucking war for you. Again, by the way, don't think we don't fucking know about 9/11. I am so fucking sick of these people. They are the absolute scum of the earth. Get the fuck off my news. Stop trying to convince us to fight your fucking war. And Lord knows, with this fucking ass clown as president, we're probably gonna go. We're probably gonna fucking go to war. Probably gonna go fucking war while Americans are literally struggling to survive.
Okay, I'm gonna stop that. There's only a few seconds left, but you get the general idea. Anyway, we got a caller. Caller, you've got about 1 minute. You called in too late. Who do we have, and where are you calling from?
Okay, well, this is Melissa in Maryland, and it doesn't take too long, but I was just going to say that Juneteenth is a holiday that's been forced upon us, and there is no allowance in the U.S. Constitution for national holidays, but the Dobbs anniversary is going to be within the next week, and I think that the Dobbs anniversary that overturned Doe v. Bolden, I think that should be a national holiday because there were states that had to stop doing abortions because of the Dobbs decision.
Okay. Well, I got to tell you, I thought you were going to refer to Pride Month, which I'm glad that I'm not getting that rainbow shoved down my throat 24/7 for an entire month. But no, I would.
You'll have to forgive me. You'll have to forgive me, but it's not my goal to be gay.
I forgive you, dear. Anyway, I'm glad that you brought that up. You know, yeah, there are a lot of folks out there, you know, pro-life, pro-choice, et cetera, and that debate is going to be going on and on and on and on. But no, I have my own feelings about that. You know, people out there saying that they're pro-choice. I just hope that they choose wisely. You know, because there are consequences for your decisions. But anyway, we're flat out of time. Thank you for calling in. It's a bit late, and yeah, it's let's see. Oh yeah, I've only got just less than a minute left. Melissa, thank you for calling in, and I'm glad to have you as a listener. God bless. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, again, I apologize for that last clip there. I think, you know, like I said, I did my best to take it out, but I think this woman is reflecting exactly how many Americans are feeling. We're up to our eyeballs. We are out there saying, WTF? When's it going to stop? We don't want to go to war, not on behalf of Israel. I mean, and yeah, I mean, Ryan Mata was referring to these people, these women that dress up and they put makeup on their face and make them look like the Palestinians, and they dance and everything, and then they have observation posts where they can bus in the high school kids to watch the bombings going on in Gaza. These people are psychopaths, and it's got to stop. And this is why many Israelis are fleeing the nation, because they see how insane that is. And there are many Jews in this country that are condemning Israel as well. There's a groundswell happening, folks, and I just hope that President Trump can see it. Anyway, that said, that's going to wrap it up for today's installment of the WTF Reports. God bless you all. Stay safe, stay free, and I'll see you tomorrow. And visit our website, the WTF Reports. See you tomorrow.